We are partnering with the National Weather Service to try to make sure all Wisconsinites turn into citizen scientists in the month of March. We are asking you to join us as official rainfall reporters and weather observers from now through the rest of the calendar year. You know, not every weather service provided in the state of Wisconsin, though, is easily understood by consumers. Today, one of our assistant climatologists at the State Climatology Office is joining us. That's Bridget Mason. So let's explain for folks, Bridget, just exactly what the State Climatologist Office does.
What the State Climatology Office does is help Wisconsinites understand weather and climate in our state. And so we do that by three main ways. We offer information, we help interpret that information, and we also investigate our weather and climate information that's available.
And that becomes critically important in a lot of different ways. Now, do you folks engage with the National Weather Service, or how do the two services either stand alone or work together?
So we actually chat pretty informally with the National Weather Service every month. We have a little get-together on Zoom and discuss anything going on in the state and at our individual offices. And then we also email back and forth. We monitor each other's social media accounts as well, just to make sure we're on top of real-time events. And then we also, our State Climatology Office is able to offer the National Weather Service a historical perspective or historical context of current events going on.
Now, in case you're wondering why we're focusing so much on weather, March is really one of those transition months when a lot of farmers are getting ready, starting to think more about spring planting. You might be thinking about your garden. It can also be one of the wildest months when it comes to erratic weather. That's why the National Weather Service has launched their Rain Gauge Rally 2025. Through the month of March, we are asking citizens to stay engaged in the process, step up and become a part of the Rain Gauge Rally. That means we want you to report rainfall reports whenever they occur. Weather observations are also critically important. Bridget Mason along with us. She is assistant state climatologist. Tell me a little bit about how important information gained from COCORAS, which is a long phrase that stands for Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network. How does COCORAS play a role in your information at the State Climatology Office, Bridget?
So COCORAS data is incredibly valuable to the State Climatology Office. So Wisconsin's weather can vary a lot from place to place, and we understandably don't have official weather stations everywhere to capture those local differences. So by having volunteers measure precipitation, we get a much more detailed picture of precipitation patterns across the state, which helps us to track rain and snow and hail, which our office can then put these events into historical context.
I think that most people, Bridget, would say in this day and time, technology must take over a big part of that responsibility. And I know Wisconsin's building its mesonet right now, but how important are the boots on the ground, our audience, the physical interaction with that weather documentation? How important is that to you?
Yeah, very, very important. So besides helping the State Climatology Office contextualize today's weather with past weather, COCORAS observations are also used by the National Weather Service, where their meteorologists look at these current localized observations every day to help set a baseline of ground truth, which helps them create accurate forecasts, which we know is so important for everyday farming activities. The National Weather Service also uses COCORAS for tracking severe weather events. They also track flood and drought monitoring, and even lake effect snowfall events, since those can be quite localized. Observations are also used by local emergency managers who need accurate precipitation data to assess impacts from storms. And then also farmers, our audience of farmers, as well as water resource managers and insurance companies and many others use the data to know where and how much rain or snow or hail fell, because again, it can be so localized. So Having volunteer reporters really helps fill in the gaps between official weather stations, which makes the data more complete.
Bridget Mason along with us, assistant climatologist at the Wisconsin State Climatology Office. Now, from your experience, Bridget, how difficult for the listener out there, they're saying, yeah, well, I love to do rainfall reporting. I'm always observing weather. How difficult is it to become a part of the weather reporting system?
Oh, well, actually getting involved is quite easy. So I would encourage you, if you're interested, to visit the CocoRAHS website. So that is www.cocorahs.org, where you will find information on how to join, where to get an official rain gauge, and how to submit observations. There's also training available to help new observers get started. If you're a little hesitant or unsure, you can definitely check out that training. And I would also encourage folks to think a little bit outside of the box in terms of where these stations can go. We would love people to have these in their own backyards, but we should also think about public spaces like schools, police or fire stations, libraries, parks, agritourism farms, and you can even consider making a sign next to this rain gauge about what this is and how it helps you so that community members can see these rain gauges and perhaps they'll think to themselves, oh, I want or need one too.
Well, and there are people that may have, let's say, residents in town, and then on the weekends, maybe they head out to their little piece of paradise out in the country or up north. You don't have to be sitting on top of that rain gauge every day to report. I mean, there is some flexibility in the time lapse from weather incident to reporting. Is there not, Bridget?
That's correct. You do not have to report every day. It is very much on your own time. I think sometimes perhaps a misconception could be that this takes a lot of time, but in reality, it takes just a couple minutes a day or whenever you have some time to report on what precipitation is in your rain gauge or submit what the conditions or impacts are that you're seeing. So not much time at all and no reason for you to miss out on going to the lake house or anything.
Yeah, that's right. And we're making it as easy as possible again in 2025. That's Bridget Mason, assistant climatologist at the Wisconsin State Climatology Office, expressing just exactly how important it is that you become a part of the Rain Gauge Rally 2025 on now through the end of the month, asking you to become a citizen scientist in your own backyard. It is not difficult to get engaged in the process. In fact, I would suggest that you find the website WisconsinWeatherWatchers.org. WisconsinWeatherWatchers.org will take you to the area where you can sign up to become a part of the Rain Gauge Rally 2025. Help us do a better job forecasting weather in the state of Wisconsin. Bridget Mason would really appreciate your interaction. Again, that website to join as a part of the Rain Gauge Rally 2025, WisconsinWeatherWatchers.org. I'm Pam Yankee.